You should see me in a crowd. I'm gonna run, there's nothing to out.
Fuck that fucking cube. I'm sorry. I'm fucking weird. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. That was kind of lame. Oh well. What is up, my fellow hip hop heads and music lovers in general? My name is G Vance, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the second upload of today, the second review of to do on this channel. So let's get right to it. Today for this video, I'm going to be reviewing the fifth studio album called Anonymous, and it's by the one and only blackbear. He is, a lot of you might know him from being like the second half of the like R&B duo Mansions with Mike Posner. He did a lot of great shit there. He did a lot of great shit in the past, with his like albums that he's been dropping like over the past few years. And today he came out with something that I would say is like the best shit he's ever dropped in my opinion. Um, I've been following blackbear for quite a while now. I got into him like I want to say in 2017 is when I got into him. I was just like scrolling through like some like I was just scrolling through like my Facebook feed, and like someone has shared like one of his videos, and I was like, huh, what is this? This looks like pretty weird. And it ended up being a Black Bear song, and it ended up being something that I really enjoyed. So I was like, fuck it, I think this dude is pretty dope. I'm gonna like listen to more of his shit. So I've been following him for quite a while now. I've been trying to learn more about him, and I've just been like kind of like slowly appreciating his music like a lot more. You know what I mean? Um, so so yeah, that's sort of my history with Black Bear. I think he's a very like great and talented artist. I don't know how many of you know who Black Bear is, but like if he's really underrated and you guys don't know who he is, and like give his music a try, because he's honestly really fucking cool. He has like his own like different style, and that's what I like about him. That's what I love about him. He has his own style. It's really good in my opinion. So let's talk about this new album, Anonymous. Um, because boy, is this is this a fucking ride. First things first, it's almost an hour long. It's like 51 minutes long, so like almost an hour. Um, but shit, like I, I was speechless when I listened to this whole thing. Like I'm still speechless now. I still have no clue what the fuck to say. Oh fuck, Blackbear, what the fuck are you doing to me, man? Holy shit, this dude, this dude is on something else. First of all, this isn't your typical Blackbear album. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This isn't your typical Blackbear album. Okay, for those of you who are fans of like of his other shit, like his past shit, like Help, and I think the other album that's really popular is called like um it's something Drug Lord. I forgot like what it says, but it has Drug Lord in it. But those two albums, and just every album he's dropped before this album came out. Let me just tell y'all that you're in for something new, because this album is nothing like that. This is a completely different album in general altogether. You know, for those of you who don't know about like Blackbear's like first initial like like start when it came to his music career, he was like a big advocate for like a bunch of like pleasure, pleasurable shit, pretty much. Talking about drugs, talking about women, talking about, all this shit that makes him feel good. He was a big advocate for feeling good by doing, shit that we probably shouldn't be doing. I don't like take drugs, so like, you know, that's one thing I never agreed on him about. But I still listen to it because I feel like, that was his reality, and that's how he coped with shit, and and that's how he had fun, and like, I have no problem with anybody having fun. I have no problem with anyone using hardcore drugs, just as long as you're fucking like careful with it, because there's always a risk of like shit going wrong if you're taking too much. Uh, you know, I'm not. I was never a big fan about all that. Obviously, I was never a big fan of like drinking and all that shit. Like I'm completely straight edge. All right, I don't do any of that. Um, so like as much as I appreciated like the style he does his music in, like I personally like didn't agree with like the words, and I guess at some point he didn't either, because this album was him like trying to make a change. You know what I mean? Um, after a lot of like hungover mornings and a lot of walk of shames that he's probably had throughout his whole life, Black Bear himself was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's time for a change. Not only in me, but for my music. And that's exactly what he did. We are given a whole completely different Black Bear than we're expecting. All right? Black Bear has finally taken his fucking mask off, and he is finally comfortable enough to like expose and show that like vulnerable human being that he's been hiding for such a long time. Um, he always had put on this persona, and I feel like now he's finally comfortable with like letting it all out. Letting everything that's been bothering him all out. I know he said on an interview once that apparently this album is just like, it's pretty much a whole big story of him like struggling with like not like just him struggling with like stopping to use drugs. Like he wants to quit drugs, but he just can't. He's struggling with that. Struggling with not like fucking around with so many women out there, and pretty much like overall just struggling with being a healthier and better person. And I think that's something we can all relate to. That's something I can definitely relate to. Like, I'm not a perfect person. Like, you know I'm a lot more better off like now than I was back then. But back then, like, I had a lot of shit going on, and I still have like a lot of like feelings balled up inside. As all of my friends, like I'm like not that big of a talker about my emotions and all that shit. So like like that shit is still like really hard to talk about. So yeah, um, I can definitely relate to it. You know, um, this was the first time ever that Blackbear has like shown it like vulnerability, and like like showed like any signs of him being open with himself. Um, there's just there's a there's a lot of shit for him to like. There's a lot of shit that he talks about here. Like he talks about a lot of topics of like like this this whole album is pretty much like a lot of like intense like realizations of his life, and like like him like learning lessons from past experiences, and just him like figuring out what to do to better himself, not only for himself, not but like for his family, for his fans, for the people that look up to him. you know just trying to find a way how to be a better person in general. And like I think Black Bear is a really great person that does a lot of that does like stupid things sometimes. Like we all have done something that we're not proud of, that we're like embarrassed about, that we fucking cringe about every time we think about it. And it's okay. It's okay. That's a part of being human. Like making mistakes is what we do as humans, like we're imperfect people, but it's how you grow from them that like determine who we are. And if we're willing to grow, not only grow but to learn from them, then that also determines who we are. Our past experience will determine who we are, but it's how ourselves, if we determine who we are, it's how we like learn from them, and tell ourselves that we're not going to let the past define us. And that's something that is a really big topic for blackbear on this album. There there are two songs called Heartbroken and Losing You, where he like just fucking vents about like love and all that shit. He not only does he vent, but he finally heals. Like he talks about getting heartbroken and like losing that person that you really love the most at some point in your life. It's like we all been there. We all been through a lot of like bad relationships, and then there was like this one person that treated you very very well, and like you were like actually like having like a bit of hope for this whole love thing, and then like shit doesn't work out and you're back in the same spot. So in a way he helps himself heal, but he also helps a lot of other people heal when it comes to being heartbroken and all that. Like he's definitely made me learn a lot. And I've been like 3 years single now, and I still have like a lot of shit to learn. I still have a lot of shit to learn before I try and attempt to try and love and take care of another human being. And that's something that I really appreciate about Blackbird doing here. I think my favorite song on here on this album is probably called "Swear to God," because he talks about like how he knows he's made a lot of mistakes, a lot of mistakes that he can't come back from, a lot of mistakes that have permanently like burned bridges, sorry, with like a lot of people that he can never get a relationship back with again. And he's saying, although he's done all that stuff, that he swears that he will change, and that he knows it's time for a change, and he'll do whatever it takes to change. And that one hit me pretty personally. I've done a lot of like I've said a lot of like mean shit to people. I like went through like a really big like depressing phase where because like I used to get bullied a lot, and that really like fuck with me. So I didn't like want to like hang out with anybody, and anybody that tried to like come be my friend, because I always like hanged out alone. Like I kind of pushed them away because I was such an asshole. Telling me like, oh, leave me the fuck alone, like, get out of here, I don't fucking like you, all that shit. So I definitely said a lot of mean shit to a lot of people because of my past experiences. And like I wasn't the best person to be around back then. So I'm really glad that this album has just been teaching me a lot of shit. You always learn from music, like I feel like people think that they've learned everything they need from like their favorite artists, but like honestly, it's never too late to learn from music, because like I feel like I've learned a lot from people that I listen to, but like there's still a lot for me to learn about, and I learned a shit ton of like about myself today, right? And just with how to cope with sadness, and like to understand that it's like okay to be vulnerable and okay to make mistakes. um shout out to you, Black Bear. I can definitely hear the confidence in your voice for the first time like in this album. This is definitely like some of your best shit in my opinion. I really appreciate you dropping this album. I really enjoyed it. um I'm looking forward to the future with your music career, because you were always a really dope artist, and this is like a step in the right direction to better things to come in the future. So yeah, really appreciate you, Black Bear. And with that being said, that's pretty much the end of this video. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram down below. As always, DM me for requests. Go ahead and follow Black Bear on Instagram down below. Go show him some love. His new album Anonymous is out now. So yeah, go listen to it, please. It's a really important album in my opinion for anyone to listen to. Like if you're feeling sad, and you're feeling like there's no hope for you, like please go listen to this album. This album is gonna help you out a lot. I promise you. And with that being said, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next upload, and don't forget to stay happy.